Hello, everyone. Welcome to Business Bites, and this event is sold out. I hope everyone is having a fantastic Wednesday so far, and I'm very excited to see everyone joining us today for another awesome panel discussion. For those of you who may not know, my name is Nathan, and I am with Hana House here in Newport Beach. If you see me around, feel free to say hi. And as a quick background, Business Bites is a collaborative virtual series hosted by Onyx Access and Hana House. If you're not familiar, Onyx Access is an innovation consulting firm based in Southern California. And Hana House is a flexible co-working space and cafe with locations in both Palo Alto and Newport Beach. Now today, I do encourage you all to use the chat feature at the bottom to engage and ask any questions throughout this session. As a quick starter, how about we have everyone go to the chat box below and comment where you're tuning in from, as we love to see where our audience is coming from. As a reminder, this session is being recorded or partially recorded and will be posted on our YouTube channel and sent out via email within the next week. And with that, I'd like to hand it over to the amazing Shelly from Onyx Access.
Thanks, Nathan. I'm grateful to Hana House for collaborating with us on this program. This is so exciting. I hope everyone's having a great day and appreciate you taking the time to join us for this workshop style Business Bites. Here's a little bit of our agenda for today. We plan to introduce ourselves, walk you through some basics about business modeling. We'll go into a group exercise. We'll sort of explain why we need to be thinking about business model testing, and then we'll break out into two different groups. So we'll be breaking out into the idea stage group and the growth stage group. So be thinking about which breakout session you might join. I'll be leading the idea stage, which would be for, I would say, new startup founders or those inside of an organization that are coming up with new ideas. And Kelly will be working on growth stage. So anyone that has product market fit, is out in the market and looking to grow, whether that's a startup or an established company. We'll leave plenty of time for Q&A. So let me briefly share a little bit about myself. I'm Shelly Icona. I founded Onyx Access in 2009, and my intention was to help others build better products. Today, Onyx Access helps organizations assess and optimize their innovation talent, empower entrepreneurship, and deliver products to the market through prototyping, market research, business modeling, prototypes, and go-to-market strategy. We also have an accelerator that I'm super excited to talk with you about today. In this moment, it's designed to help both entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs succeed in today's market and workspace. But none of what we do currently would be possible without our team. We have a wonderful team. Some of them are on today's call. In fact, one of them is Kelly.
And hello, everyone. I'm Kelly O'Connell, and I'm the Executive Vice President in Onyx Access. I come to today's conversation with an early career background in mergers and acquisitions. I've had the opportunity through many years of working as a senior leader in management consulting and now as an executive leader at Onyx Access in helping global 2000 companies launch new products, build more inclusive workplaces, and really avoid disruption in the marketplace. And today I also have the very great privilege of being the managing partner at 360 Venture Collective, which is an emerging fund investing in historically underfunded founders, building venture scale products. So I wear those hats coming to the conversation, really showing that I have a deep understanding of the operator side and the theoretical side of launch and growth. And I'm truly excited to join Shelly and all of you in a very interactive workshop on business modeling. Thanks, Shelly.
Thanks, Kelly. So with that, let's start with interacting with one another. Let's engage a little bit. And if you could pop in the chat some of your ideas. what do you think makes for a great business? So just take a moment and think about what are some great businesses that you know of. Maybe you admire them. Maybe you've heard about something in the news that they've done recently. But think about, if you're a customer of theirs, what are they offering that you feel makes them great? Would love to see some ideas in the chat. So I think a common one is meeting customer needs. Love it. SpaceX, very good. So I'm curious, Andrew. Internal and external transparency. Nice, Camille. Great. So some others I'm seeing, I got a couple that came through: brand awareness, customer need, and any others? All right. One that relates to the consumer and supports true customized requirements. Thank you. Good stuff. Well, yes, all of those make for a great business. Sometimes even businesses that create customer needs that the customer isn't aware they have could be another. But the one key aspect of a great business that we want to keep in mind for today's conversation is that great businesses have 3 criteria working for them ongoing. And so let's go through that now. So one of them is a unique offering. Number one, your business needs to have a unique offering to compete in the market. So think about how potential customers will benefit from your offering and how your products and services will address their needs and solve their problems. You also want to think about, as this visual represents, how do you stand out from the competition? It's perfectly okay to create a similar product or service offering in the market, but how will you stand out from the rest? And even if you're offering something similar to your competitors, your unique offering is really important because it's the foundation for your overall strategy. The second aspect that's really critical to make a great business is stickiness. And this is really what keeps customers faithful to you. It's that secret sauce that you have that others don't. It keeps them coming back for more. This is often evidenced by great testimonials or predictable recurring revenues. The best service you can provide to your customers is what you want to be thinking about when you think about getting stickiness in your product or service. And one aspect that's really important to remember is that in order to create stickiness and ensure that it lasts over time, your offering needs to continually evolve because customer needs change, the market changes. So that's really important to be thinking about. The third aspect, which is challenging to achieve, but super important, is scalability. So scalability refers to when a company can grow with little obstacles. It has limits. It doesn't have limits to its growth on the supply side or the demand side. It's growing, it's predictable, it has some consistency. This can be challenging, but if you have a proven product or service in the market and you're adapting your business model to changing market needs, this is where scalability comes in, and this is where you're able to have some successes. All right.
So Shelley shared with you a little bit about what makes a great business. And you may be thinking, but what are the details of that? And what does that really mean? And what does that look like? So taking those three elements as a central focus, really thinking about what differentiates you, how do we create customer stickiness, how do we create the ability to scale with minimal friction, are all elements of the business model process. Before we go any further, I do want to acknowledge that this is a workshop, and I want to give all of you the opportunity to interact a little bit. Shelley asked an open interactive question at the beginning. I'm just going to encourage you, if you do have a way to take notes during this session, we're going to ask you to fill in a couple of fill in the blank tools. And you can do that with pen and paper. You can do that digitally with an iPad, but figure out the way that you like to take notes as an element of this workshop. The other thing I just want to say is that this is a safe space. So if you have questions throughout today's conversation, you have the opportunity to engage with us in chat. You can write to us directly using the direct message in chat to ask us questions. You can also use the hand raise features at the bottom to let us know that there's a question, and we do have periods in today's workshop where you'll have the opportunity to ask us questions. So with that said, I'm going to begin by asking all of you a question. How many of you have created or worked on a business model in the past? So raise your hand if you've created on or worked with a business model. So you have some definition of a business model in your mind. Find those hand raise features. I'm looking at a few of you. Thank you very much for those of you who are raising your hands. And how many of you signed up for this workshop going, I want to learn what a business model is? So if you could raise your hands, if you signed up and you said, I want to learn what a business model is. I'm going to make some really uncomfortable pauses waiting for interaction from the group. Thank you. I appreciate people finding those hand raise buttons. This helps us because it's going to allow us to customize where we spend our time together. You know, as we think about this concept of business models, I'm going to ask you another question. Shelley asked you the question of what are elements that make a great business? But what are a few great businesses? What are great business brands that you've heard of? If you could write them in the chat, some business brands that you respect. I'm going to give you a few minutes to write these in. Thank you for American Express and Amazon and Boeing. Masterclass, Southwest. Now we're seeing them. This is the kind of interaction we're looking for. Great. Does anybody want to share some attributes of these companies that make you admire them or make those brands come to mind even when we're asking this question? Dave Smith Instruments, Delta. I love this. Now we've got the interaction down. Now in this chat, if you could just write in, what are a few elements of this? Consistent experience, fanatics versus customers. This idea of customer champions, I love that. Reliable products and customer service first. I'm seeing a lot of customer. I'm seeing a lot of engagement around customer. And that's a great frame for today's conversation. And customers are certainly an important aspect of business. So as we move forward together today, we're going to talk about this idea of business models, and we're going to spend quite a bit of time on one tool, one element that helps us and helps companies, whether they're just starting out, whether it's a startup or a mature organization, really define and describe the key elements of their business. So Shelley, if we could, I'm going to share with you this idea that a business model describes the rationale for how an organization creates, delivers, and captures value. And this concept is introduced by Alexander Osterwalder. And Alexander Osterwalder is largely credited with coming up with a tool, one tool that we happen to like quite a lot, called the Business Model Canvas. And that business model canvas allows us to be able to capture the essential elements that help an organization, help a founder, help a large team, really simply think about how they deliver value. And it's often visualized, like the image that you see on the screen. So today, this business model canvas, this tool, will be an element that we use collectively here. And we use this tool to be able to think about how to structure a business at each of the different phases that are important. And so Shelly and I are going to go through some exercises, and then we're going to have some interactive fun around this concept of the business model canvas.